Yep. Oh, hi. We're joining again today. Do you want to help talk about a really exciting part of the project? No, she does not. Today we're wrapping up the really exciting project of going from fleece to finished object. And I have been trying to knit like the absolute wind. It's been a while, and I got some comments about it actually asking me if I ever hand knit anymore, and I do, but I have to go a little bit slower than I did in the past because I do have some repetitive use injuries now in my hands and my wrists and my forearms. I knit as fast as I could without hopefully re-irritating those injuries. It's another reason why I love my knitting machine so much, is because they allow me to rest my hands so that I can hand knit on the things that I really want to hand knit, because I'm a little bit more limited right now in what I can and can't hand knit. But today is the day where I am so excited. I have been back and forth on what to make with this yarn. The first thing that I decided to do was try to understand how much I have. I do have a yarn counter. Again, I don't have access to it right now. So my best bet was to approximate how thick the yarn was and how much my yarn weighed, and try to find similar thickness or wraps per inch yarns online and see how much yardage that would turn out to. And my best guess is that I had around 300 yards, probably a little under 300 yards. And that helped me narrow down exactly what kinds of patterns I could make. The other thing that I wanted to test is, what did my yarn look like knit up? Because I knew that there were inconsistencies. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's beautiful. I think textured yarn is great. But I did want to see what it looked like knit up as a swatch, to see if I should kind of stick with patterns that allow the texture of the yarn to shine, or if I should go for like a cable or some sort of lace pattern. And after seeing the swatch, I decided actually I really like the natural texture of this first spin, and I kind of want that to be the thing that shines in this piece. And so I am going to just find a pattern that is mostly stockinette so that I can kind of admire my own homespun yarn, I guess, or like the texture and inconsistencies of it, and actually have that be the feature of that piece. I had so many wonderful suggestions from you all in terms of what I should knit, and I appreciate it. I really like the ideas of like mittens or a scarf, a hat. I think some people recommended that I weave things. And what was really interesting to me was finding a project that I could use up every last bit of yarn that I had without being worried that it would run out. So like if I just did a rectangular scarf, right, then I would just knit until the yarn is done, basically. And that would be really nice because I would use up most of it. I don't wear a ton of scarves, I wear more shawls. So I was looking at a few shawl patterns that were kind of like within the weight and yardage range, and also advertise themselves as like knit for however big you want to make your piece. And I was heavily considering making them when I realized I started having a conversation again with my friend who also processes her own fleece and does spinning and owns goats and all of that. We were talking about the rest of this fleece and how I should go forward in processing it, when I realized that I have I only worked through and made 1/3 of my entire fleece into yarn. And what is actually a better candidate to make a shawl or a scarf of some kind is the rest of this fleece, because then I'd have twice as much yarn as I have now. So rather than around 300 yards, I'd have 600, which could make a more substantial shawl, which I would prefer personally. And I think it'd be really cool if I made some sort of matching set with this fleece. So like a shawl and mittens, or like a shawl and a hat. The thing is, with mittens, I lose them. I am the worst. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I have to take them off in order to use my phone or in order to do something with Nutella. And then I put them in my pockets, and then by the time I get home, they're not in my pockets anymore. With a hat, that just stays on my head. My hats I don't lose, my mittens and gloves I lose. So I really didn't want to make something that I am afraid of losing, which means that a hat is the perfect category of thing to make so that I can make a matching set, hopefully with the rest of my fleece at some point in the future, of a hat and a shawl / scarf, maybe even woven. We'll have to see. Some people also asked if I was going to dye the yarn, and I like that idea. I think I might do that for the scarf. I might make some contrast stripes with some natural dyes. But for my hat, I love the natural cream color. I think it's beautiful. And I was shocked at the beauty of that color that I got from really, really dirty, I have to say it was quite a dirty fleece. So I just kind of wanted that to shine, that we were able to get from where that fleece started to that beautiful cream color. There's quite a few hat patterns that I was debating between, but what really drew me as a pattern was the Oslo hat from Petite Knits, because it has basically 3 layers of knits around your ears. And I've said it, I think, a few times in the past, but anytime I'm out in the winter, my ears are the coldest thing, my ears and my forehead. So if I have 3 layers of knits around my forehead and my ears, I think that'll make me really, really comfy. And I also think that just like generally the shape of this hat looks beautiful. It allows a lot of the texture to shine in the stockinette pattern. I have my fingers and toes crossed that I have enough yarn for it. I guess I can do some modifications in the length if I need to. Like the flap, I think as written is like 3 inches wide. I don't know that it needs to be fully 3 inches. Let us hope I have enough yarn. I'm a little worried, but I'm hopeful. So we'll see. Okay, let's get to knitting. I was a little worried that the hat was going to be too big, but I actually think, I'm like very carefully trying it on, I think it's going to be just the right size. I have this much yarn left of this first ball, which is the bigger ball, and I'm at just under 5 inches. So if I fold it over the crown now, it'd be like 2.5 inches, just under. I do think that I want to get to 6 inches before I do the fold over, but I do feel better going a little shorter on the brim and being a little bit more conservative on the yarn usage. I still don't know if it's going to be enough. I'll try and we'll see. So it's beautiful evening light. I'm going to keep on knitting. I'm very thankful for some pictures that people have posted about how they did the fold over brim and everything and what the instructions really mean, because the pattern's not bad. I just didn't fully get it until I saw the pictures of other people doing it. I've gotten to about 5.5 inches. This is how much yarn I have left of this first ball. I was gonna try to make it to 6 inches, but I'm starting to get a little nervous that I'm gonna have enough, because after I do the brim, I have to knit for 6 more inches and then I have to decrease. And if I could not even get to 6 inches with this, I think this is gonna be cutting it so close. Okay. So the next bit, so this is as far as I've knit so far, I'm going to actually knit the next row and the cast on edge together so that we get that fold over brim action. So let's see how that goes. I have knit the whole fold and I love how it looks. So in the end, it's actually going to be sitting like this, kind of folded up, and I'm going to be knitting the hat coming out this way. So first, so that we don't see the wrong bit, we knit a little bit more here and then we're going to turn it around. I'm sorry I haven't been updating as much as I probably should. I've just been knitting in some like odd times that I've had throughout the day. I have knit the hat. This is the double wide brim. I'm up to the decreases and I have this much yarn left. I feel like it looks like more than it is because I'm working from the inside to the out on this, but cross your fingers for me that it'll be enough. I guess I can always rip back and take out, because I think it is like the hat is meant to be a little oversized. And if I rip out some of the rows before the decreases, then I can have it fit tighter, but I can do a little fit check. I think the blocking will help with the brim as well, because it doesn't really want to fold over nicely. But here's the hat. Oh yeah, it's definitely like, and now I'm doing the decreases, but we're already kind of past the own crown of my head. So it's definitely gonna be on the longer side for hats, but I like it so far. So let me do the decreases, and please cross your fingers for me that this is going to be, well, I guess I still have a tiny bit left on my smallest skein, but I'm hoping that maybe I can get away with just this one, because I'd like to save the small skein as like my first real usable wool that I ever spun. So let's do the decreases now and hope it's good enough. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I have gone from fleece to something wearable. I learned how to process a fleece, how to wash it, how to pick it, how to comb it, how to spin it. Well, and I guess not comb, card it, how to spin it. And I finally knit up this wonderful hat. I have about this much left of the last ball of yarn I used in the entirety of that little mini skein that I made. But not to worry, I still have 2/3 of the fleece left over that I would like to process. And I think it might be a great candidate to weave myself a matching scarf for this hat. And for that, I will use up the rest of this one. So this will definitely get used. This has been such a wonderful project for Craftmas. I am so glad I just jumped in, I dived in, and I did it, because while there's definitely some imperfections, I think it is absolutely beautiful. It's warm, it's comfortable, I love it. I'm not gonna stop wearing it this winter. As you can tell, it's the perfect weather to wear it. But Craftmas is not done. Next, we are going to be working on this lovely sweater. So please do stay tuned. I'm really excited to get working on this one and making myself a copy and maybe making a pattern for all of us to knit together. And hopefully we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye!